Alright. We haven't touched this since January, so. Should I just start? Nope. So I definitely gotta. No. Back. Wait. Main menu. Okay, load. Okay, the day begins to pass and I slowly grow more comfortable with my job at the Seaside Cafe. I like keeping busy and I like earning my own money. I also to my surprise like working with Miyuki and Ku. I got off to a bit of a bumpy start with Miyuki, but I don't think she's a bad girl. She's very earnest about her job, and she takes a good deal of pride in her work as a maid. It has been a while. I figured why not do these? Remember I bought like 10 of these games, and I figured with my good mic it should sound pretty decent. Um, she's very earnest about her job, and she takes a good deal of pride in her work as a maid. I think she's an I think she's an admirable senior, and I have no qualms about following her lead. That holds true for most aspects, at least. But she's not completely perfect. Miyuki does have a few defects she needs to work on, her short temper being chief among them. This temper of hers flares up quite spectacularly one evening when dealing with a rude customer. I don't catch that very beginning of the argument, but that's irrelevant. I hear more than enough to deduce that this customer is trouble. Customer number one. You stuck up little madam. The customer, a businessman in his late 40s or so, scowls at Miyuki, his face twisted. His cheeks are pink, his cheap suit creased, and I think he might be more than a little drunk. How dare you look down your nose at me like that? I was only asking you, politely, if you would wipe down my thighs because I spilled coffee on it, and this is how you respond? Don't act so high and mighty. You're just a serving wench. You need to remember that the customer is always right. Now, hurry up and get to work. As if I would. Miyuki counters the man, her voice almost as aggressive as his. You're the one who made the mess. You ought to clean it up yourself. Aren't you supposed to be an adult? As for myself, I have no desire to put my hands anywhere near you. If you want special service, you come to the wrong establishment. I have no desire to... This is a cafe, not a house of ill repute. And I would thank you to remember that, and keep your perverted fantasies under wraps. Perverted? How dare you? The customer rises to his feet, his face redder than a ripe strawberry. Don't you act all coy and prissy with me when you're flossing about in a short, silly dress like that. Don't kid yourself. People come into this cafe for its third-rate coffee. The only reason anybody would waste their time in a place like this is to ogle the maids. You're nothing more than a piece of eye candy. And you are nothing more than a drunken, good-for-nothing louse. What? Why, you... The customer lunges at Miyuki, but he doesn't get very far. I come between the pair of them before things can get really heated. Excuse me, sir, but you're causing a scene. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Why, you... The customer glowers at me. What's the big idea? Who do you think you are? Some sort of knight errant? Why don't you get lost and leave me alone while the little lady were talking? I don't think the words that passed between the pair of you really... Let me start over, Jesus. I don't think the words that passed between the pair of you really count as a pleasant conversation, sir. The staff here clearly don't know how to speak to their elders. I'll be complaining to your manager about this. Sure, you do that, and see what she says. I think you'll find she'll be on our side, though. This isn't worth the hassle. The irate customer grabs his jacket from his table, turns to leave with his parting repose. I'll, I'll not be coming back. The door slams behind him, and order is restored once more in the Seaside Cafe. The handful of patrons who were present during this confrontation exhale in relief, as I do. I wasn't bluffing, but I'm relieved the guy backed off before things got violent. I'm no stranger to breaking noses or spilling blood, but I'd really rather put those days behind me. Are you alright, Mayuki? The guy didn't upset you too much, did he? What? Oh no, it's fine. Miyuki shakes her head vaguely. She looks a bit perturbed by all that's happened, which is understandable. That guy said some truly awful things to her. Do you often get customers like that? Not too often. I can usually deal with them on my own, but he was particularly persistent. Truth be told, I was beginning to panic. I wasn't sure what I would do. It was a bit scary, but thank you, Naoya, for standing up for me. You're a lot nicer than I first gave you credit for. I'm a nice guy, what can I say? The following week. I'm beat. Finished with my morning shift at the Seaside Cafe, I retreat from the hustle and bustle of the lunch rush to the decidedly calmer break room. Miyuki's shift started a bit later than mine, so she's still busy working. Ku's shift lines up with mine today, however, she's sitting in the break room already when I arrive. She's staring at the wall, but her eyes look unfocused. I wonder if she's falling asleep. She looks out of it. Are you alright, Ku? No response. Well, I should have predicted that. Let's try this again. Are you going to eat your lunch? Aren't you going to eat your lunch? Still no response. Ku's such a tough nut to crack. I've been working at the Seaside Cafe for 2 weeks now, and while I've had occasional conversations with Miyuki, I don't think I've ever wrung more than a sentence out of Ku at a time. Coaxing words from her is like trying to get blood from a stone. Hey, Ku. Earth the Ku. I sit beside her at the table and wave a hand in front of her face. I'm sure this at least will be able to ensure her attention. But my best efforts soon prove to be in vain. She doesn't turn to look at me. She doesn't even blink. I was just joking before, but now I'm seriously starting to worry. Is she actually dead? Hey, I turn to one of my coworkers, a pretty waitress whose name I think is Midori, and I say, is Ku alright? Oh, she's fine. Midori offers me a reassuring smile. She does this quite frequently. At this point, we've all learned to overlook it. This cafe would be better if we could overlook her whole existence. One of my other coworkers huffs after swallowing a bit of her sad, rather wilted-looking chicken sandwich. Yamashiri's such a weirdo. I don't know why Miss Mayamori puts up with her. You ask her to do something and she just stares at you with these big empty eyes like some sort of corpse. She's like a total freak. Atsuko. That's not a nice thing to say. Who cares? It's the truth. No other establishment would put up with a girl like her. She's clearly abnormal. She's so creepy. I bet she scares the customers away. She looks like a doll. Not a cute French doll, but the sort of you'd find in an antique store that stab you in your sleep. Atsuko. Midori scolds her friend, but her lips are beginning to quirk upwards in the corner. I think she's trying to suppress a smile. It's true enough that Yamashiro is a bit off, but I don't think she's a bad person. She just marches to a beat of a different drum, I suppose. Yeah, well, I shudder to think what that drum of hers is playing. Knowing her, it'll be all mixed up with a satanic chanting. Oh, Atsuko. Midori shakes her head. I'm sorry about her. Yukoyami, she's in a bad mood and all, because Yamashiri gave her a fortune she didn't like. You asked Ku to predict her future? Huh. Asuko Harumps. Yeah, that's right. There's this little guy I have a crush on, a handsome office worker, who stops by this cafe every once in a while. He's always smiling when I serve him, and I thought I was with him. I thought it was worth a chance. I know Yamashiri is big on fortune telling, so I decided to ask her if there was a future between me and this guy. It was just a bit of fun, really. I don't believe in love fortunes. It's all like way too unscientific. I figured she'd spin a sweet, fluffy love story between me and my bae, and I could walk away satisfied. But she didn't. Did she? Hell. She told me that I didn't have a chance with the guy, or any guy in general. She consulted the cards and apparently, Asuko rolls her eyes, they told her I'd have a series of meaningless affairs with a bunch of losers, then settle down and get married to a boring salary man in my early 30s. She was totally insulting me, and she did it all in a really cool way. She's like, didn't even care. That was bad enough. But then she said my husband would cheat on me 3 years into our marriage, and we'd get divorced, and I'd be stuck with 2 young kids and a bunch of debt. And then I'd have to move back in with my parents. Isn't that just horrible? Like, no, love fortune. It's a litany of misery. Where does that girl get off? If my future's that grim, I'd like to know what hers is like. I can't believe she has better prospects than me. She's such a weirdo. Asuko kicks the leg of the table in disgust. Thinking about it's pissing me off. It makes me want to grab her by the shoulders and shake her. Alright, Asuko, please, don't get so worked up. Yamashiro can't really tell the future. She's just pretending. I know that, but that makes it even worse. Why'd she have to say such an awful stuff? It wouldn't be. It would have. It would have killed her it wouldn't have killed her to tell me that she knew I wanted to hear. What she knew I wanted to hear. Right. Maybe she was trying to tell a joke. No way. My future's no joke. If she wanted to make me laugh, she'd miss the mark. Ugh. I'm so pissed. I can't stay in here with her. I think I need to go out and get some fresh air. Hey, Atsuko. Atsuko rises from the table. Midori on her heels. Both waitresses exit the break room. Midori with a backwards glance and apology. I'm sorry about this, Yokoyama. The door closes with a thud, then silence reigns. Now it's just Ku and me. I look at Ku curiously. She hasn't said a word during this proceeding, and I'm a bit worried. Being chewed out like that by her own coworkers can't have been much fun. While I think Atsuko has a right to be angry, Ku's fortunes are incredibly harsh, she might have taken it a bit too far. If Midori hadn't been there to rein her in, she really might have attacked Ku. Ku doesn't look upset, but surely that's a front. Ku? Are you okay? Still no response. How vexing. I'm sorry if you didn't want me to hear that. That must have been embarrassing for you. I didn't know you were having trouble with your coworkers. Look, I'm still a newbie, but if Atsuko gives you any grief, you can tell me. I'll try to sort things out with her. It must be awkward for you, working with a woman who hates your guts. I don't think you're blameless in this incident, but you don't deserve to be spoken to like that. I guess what I'm saying is, I'd like to help you out if I can. I know you've got Miyuki, but I wouldn't mind being your friend too. Ku remains silent. Is she being willfully obtuse? I'm just about ready to give up and eat my lunch when... Naoya? Ku turns to look at me. She blinks, her head tilted askance. These big words. Did you say something? Yeah, I said several somethings, actually. I've been trying to get your attention for like the last 10 minutes, and so have your colleagues. My colleagues? Atsuko and Midori, I think their names are. They were talking about you? They were? Ku blinks. I don't see them anywhere. They left already. Didn't you notice them? Surely you must have heard them. Etsuko was pretty angry. Etsuko is always angry. She has a short temper. That's why she'll live an unfulfilling, unloved life. Unloved life. Oh my god. That's funny. Damn. You sure don't mince your words. I laugh awkwardly. I think I can see why she hates you so much. She hates me because I tell the truth. The spirit do not lie. The spirits do not lie. Right. So you really didn't hear the stuff she was saying? Ku shakes her head. And you're not upset? She shakes her head again. Her expression is utterly impassive, and I see no reason to disbelieve her. She looks completely unruffled. I'm starting to think that meteorite could crash into the building and Ku wouldn't jump. Why are her reactions so muted? Or is it mute? It's one of them. Well, if you ever need a friend, you can talk to me. Thank you. Oh, now that's got her to smile. That's a rare sight. I really am fine, though. I know my colleagues dislike me. Etsuko is not the only one. Midori does not like me much either, though she at least tries to be nice. The other waitresses and waiters laugh behind my back. They think I am strange, and I am. But it does not bother me. I am not alone. I have Miyuki looking out for me. And now I have you too. Ah. Ku doesn't speak all that often, so the little speech of hers had quite the impact. I'm starting to blush. I had no idea she could be so cute. Hey, Naoya. What? Do you want to listen to my music with me? I don't mind sharing. Oh, is that what you were doing? Ku nods. I had my headphones in. I always do when I'm in the break room without Miyuki. It draws out my colleagues' negative energy. If I listen to music, the words can't hurt me. Aw. It's a very private, personal thing. But I don't mind sharing with you. Aw. Alright. Now that Ku mentions it, I can see she's holding out an earbud in one hand. I suppose the other must be nestled inside her earlobe, hidden away behind a sweep of her silver hair. That explains why she was so unresponsive when I tried speaking to her. She really couldn't hear what I was saying, or Etsuko or Midori, for that matter. That's one mystery cleared up. But it invites many more questions. What was she listening to that was so good she spaced out like that? If it's alright, I guess I can give it a listen. Good, I was hoping you would say that. Music can bring people together. It fosters understanding. I hope that you can understand me too. I'll try my best. I know you will. I believe you. Let me play you a song then. When it comes crashing down, it hurt. No. I pop the earbud into my ear and shift closer to Ku. The legs of the chair scrape against the floor. It's a grating sound, but I pay it little heed. I'm much more preoccupied with the girl next to me. I've never been this close to Ku before. My shoulders brushing against hers. I can feel her body heat through the fabric of my shirt. I'm not sure what exactly I should make of this development. How am I supposed to feel? It's actually kind of nice, is what I'm going to say. Being this close to Ku is surprisingly nice. She might have mastered the art of Ineria, but she isn't as cold as she appears. She's no alabaster statue. She's soft and gentle like any other girl. And she smells good, too. She's a little baddie, a little cute thing. We sit for a while like this, in still silence, as Ku searches for a suitable song to play me. Her white, slender fingers scroll through her extensive music library. She's moving so fast I can only catch snippets of the song titles on her phone. She must have been at it for over a minute. She really is a music connoisseur. I wonder what she's listening to. What she listens to. Classical? Maybe? Or jazz? She seems like a bluesy piano sort of person. That's just my own assumption, based on nothing more than her languid nature, but... Alright, I think I found something. Let us try this. Ku finally selects a track. There's a brief pause, and then... my ears are quiet, suddenly. Assaulted with a cacophony of loud grating noises. Yeah, "Brr, come on, get her." Grating noises. I can't pick out any rhythm or melody in this din. There aren't any vocals or any recognizable instrument. Now I'm thinking about the metal. She's like, come on, yeah, brr. They start throat singing. Is this even music? What is this, Koo? It's one of my favorites. Koo smiles vaguely. It's an hour-long recording of a Timbia goat farm. Isn't it soothing? Goats are truly majestic creatures. Mozart could never compare. I'm not so sure about that, actually. This isn't even music, it's just noise, and it's not particularly nice noise either. Does she really listen to this for fun? The more I learn about Koo, the less I understand her. I really don't get this girl. I can lie, I'm glad I'm back into this game, dude. I missed it. A few days later. And that's a wrap for the day. Thank you for your hard work, everybody. Now, why don't you all head on off home? We workers shuffle off to the break room with Miss Mayamori consent to get changed and collect our belongings. That's what most of us do, at least. But Mayuki proves to be an exception to this rule. She glances about the cafe furtively. Then, when she's sure nobody's looking, she slips off to the kitchen. I wonder what she's doing. Is she stealing leftover food? But why would she bother? I've been working with Mayuki for several weeks, but I still don't know that much about her or her home life. For all I know, her parents could be poor. Her father could have a huge debt to the Yakuza. Her mother a struggling stay-at-home mother trying to feed a slew of children. Miyuki's job at the cafe could be all that's keeping the Synonymies with a roof over their heads. Is she stealing food on the sly to feed her parents and siblings? In my mind's eye, she's now has at least 5 of them. If so, it's no wonder she's so austere and aloof. She takes her work at the Seaside Cafe seriously because it's all she has. She's working herself to the bone, day in and day out, to look after her brothers and sisters, all while trying to be a good role model. Miyuki really is admirable. Blinking back tears, I follow Miyuki into the kitchen. But it's a little too late. She's not there anymore. Where did she go? I look around momentarily, stumbled, but soon I realize the door at the back of the kitchen, which leads out onto the street, is slightly ajar. Hold on a second. Alright, I'm back. I look around, momentarily stumped. But soon I realize the door at the back of the kitchen, which leads... Oh, wait, I already read that. It's slightly ajar. My bad. Did Miyuki slip out of the cafe already? Has she gone home? That doesn't make much sense, though. She hasn't changed out of her maid uniform yet. The rest of her clothes will still be stashed away in her locker room in the break room. What's going on? I've never fancied myself as much of a detective, despite watching a whole bunch of Detective Conrad as a kid, but my senses are tingling. He's Spider-Man. You ain't no detective, you're Spider-Man. There's clearly something afoot, and I'm determined to solve this case. I let myself out of the back entrance. Then I glance around for the elusive Miyuki. Fortunately, it doesn't take all that long for me to locate her. Was she feeding a dog? A homeless dog? Or is that a cat? I can't tell. She's crouched down on the street corner, still attired in her maid's outfit. Her frilly dress pulls about her legs, and her long hair tumbles down her back in waves. It's the evening, but the sun hasn't set yet. It's still high in the sky, illuminating the top of Miyuki's head with its golden rays. It's also illuminating the opening tin of a tuna Wait, it also illuminates the open tin of tuna she's holding in her glove hand and the fishy flakes inside it. Meanwhile, a black cat observes Miyuki from a few paces away. Its tail twitches, its green eyes very bright. I think the cat might be a stray. It's not wearing a collar, and it looks rather thin. Its coat is dusty, its paws dirty, and some of its whiskers are bent. It's quite the pitiful thing. I'd hesitate to call it cute. But Miyuki's smiling at it, gently regardless. Here, kitty kitty, come on. Miyuki wafts the tin of tuna in the cat's direction. I've got something tasty for you. It'll fill you up. I'll let you eat all of it, if you like, if only you'll come close enough to let me pet you. Now I see what's going on, if it wasn't already immediately obvious. Miyuki was taking food from the kitchen, but not to feed her starving family. She was trying instead to feed this starving feline. I'm glad Miyuki's dad, probably, doesn't owe the Yakuza any money. That'd be way too grim of a fate to wish upon one of my colleagues. Jesus. Here, kitty kitty. Miyuki clicks her tongue and continues to waft the can of tuna. The cat continues to eye her at a distance, no doubt wary. But eventually, Miyuki's cajoling proves too much for it. It purrs, then approaches her. Ah! A wide smile captured Miyuki's face. She looks happier than I've ever seen her before. So blissful. She's positively beaming. Yes, that's right. Come to me. I just want to pet you. Hideyoshi? Oh, you're so cute. The cat purrs in response, then nuzzles his head against Miyuki's palm. Hiya! Miyuki's response is one of elations. She squeaks, and a tremor passes through her from toe to tip. Oh, you're so cute. I love you so much. Who's a good kitty? You're a good kitty. You're the best kitty in the world, Hideyoshi. Here. Miyuki sets the tin of tuna on the ground. You can eat as much as you like. If that's not enough, I'll go and fetch you even more tuna, or maybe a bowl of water. I'll give you anything in the world, absolutely anything, so long as you let me pat you. Miyuki begins to stroke the cat while it pecks at her offerings of tuna. She looks so excited, I can't help but snort. What? Miyuki was utterly what the fuck? I don't know that word. I'm just gonna skip it. Higurashi. Oh, that's how you say it? Bet. By the cat, but my aborted laughter draws her attention. She turns to look at me, still crouching, her eyes wide. Naoya? How long have you been standing here? Long enough. I heard you trying to coax the cat over. I'm guessing you like animals? That's right. Miyuki glances away from me, her face flushed. I'm fond of cats in particular. You won't tell anyone about this, will you? You mean Miss Mayamori? Yes. She doesn't like it when I feed the strays around here. She's allergic to cats, you see, and well, she doesn't want them hanging around. She scolded me about this before, so I have to feed them in secret. I was trying to be careful, but I guess I wasn't careful enough. Miyuki sighs. I've been thinking about this little guy all day. I've been feeding him after work for the last couple of weeks. I'm always excited to see him. I was counting down the minutes before work was out, so I could come here and feed him. I know, and Ain told me, who? I don't remember that name. I know Anaine told me not to, but I can't just abandon this adorable creature. He's too cute. I don't remember that name. Miyuki strokes the cat while she solo squeezes a tendril smile on her face. She looks like she's on cloud nine. But when she glances back at me, the smile fades. She frowns. You can keep a secret, can't you, Naoya? You won't let anybody know. I won't tell Miss Mayamori. Don't worry. You promise? I promise. This is between you and me. You and me. That makes it sound almost like we're having some sort of treat. Miyuki's face turns red. Don't get the wrong idea, alright? You might have figured out my secret, but that doesn't mean I owe you anything. It's not like I'm grateful you're being so understanding, and my heart did not skip a beat just now. Oh wow, this reaction is even cuter than I expected. I'm filled with the sudden sadistic urge to poke fun at Miyuki. Should I succumb to the devil on my shoulder? Nah, reassure. I don't want to be a prick. It's alright, Miyuki. Don't worry. I'm not angling to date you, so you don't need to be so standoffish. I'm fine being friends. Well, good. Miyuki retorts, pouting. Though this may be just my imagination, she doesn't seem all that happy with my reply. I haven't disappointed her, have I? Maybe my reply was a touch too callous. I doubt Miyuki's is interested in me, but no girl wants to be told outright, I don't want to date you. If Ichigo were here, I'm sure she'd tell me to work on my tack. I don't want to date you either, or any guy, for that matter. The only man I care about is Toyotami. Wait. Toyotami Higurashi. Here. Don't make me say it again. God damn it. Toyotami Higurashi. I frown. Is that the cat's name? Miyuki nods. You named him after the Sengoku warlord? Well, why not? I think it's a very dignified name. And Higurashi is a very dignified cat. I got to keep looking at chat for the chatter that told me how to pronounce it. I appreciate that again. The way he nuzzles his cheeks against my palm is so cute. Right. I don't know if Toyotomi Higurashi was renowned for being cute, but I won't question it. Miyuki's naming sense is a bit off, but her love for cats is clearly unparalleled. I didn't know she was such a softie at heart. Heh. I grin. I feel like I've learned a lot about my colleague today. I wonder if we've gotten even closer. Probably not. A few days later. Ugh, damn it. I had a pretty rough morning, and when I arrived at work, it's with a limp. I woke up late and didn't have enough time to eat breakfast. Then I had to run to work. In the process, I slipped and skinned my knee. My pants are sticking to my leg, and each step I take makes me grit my teeth together. I haven't assessed the damage myself yet, but I can tell it's bleeding. This smarts. I'm not really looking forward to the prospect of spending a day on my feet, taking orders and carrying dishes to and from the cafe to the kitchen. It's not like I cannot do my job, though. I've only been here for a few weeks, and I don't want to make a bad impression. I'm glad Miss Mayumori decided to hire me despite my unsavory past, and I want to show my appreciation by working hard. I've got to do my best regardless. There's no time to fuss about it, my stupid old knee. I'll try to forget about it. That's my plan. I'll try to forget it. That's my plan, but... Oh, Naoya. Good morning. Or should I say, bad morning. Ku peers at me when I enter the break room, her lips pursed. Are you alright? Why do you ask? You look like you're in pain. You're pulling a face, and you're walking funny. Did you hurt yourself? Oh, no, I glanced to the one side, abashed, and scratched my cheek with one finger. I don't want to make Ku, or any of my colleagues for that matter, worry. Sure, my knee does hurt, but it's not a big deal. It's only a stupid scrape. I'm an adult, and I can deal with it. It's fine. Don't concern yourself with me. I'm sorry, but I cannot do that. If something is wrong, you should tell somebody. If not Miss Mayamori, then me. Working while unwell is a big no-no. Won't you let me help? It's alright, really. You don't need to worry. I'll be the judge of that. Ku plants her hands upon her hips, a Miyuki-like look of authority on her pretty face. Sit down, please, and take off your pants. I want to check something. Excuse me? This is a family stream. What is going on? What? I take a step back, my face burning red. I'm not taking my pants off. I'm not taking off my pants. But you must. That's the only way I can assert what is wrong. Given your strange way of walking, I have narrowed the problem down to a few possible areas. You have either hurt your ankle, Your knee, your leg, or your cut. Jeez! You don't beat around the bush, do you? I cut Koo off before she can say something embarrassing. Don't you have any shame? Koo shrugs her shoulders in response, and I sigh. I'm sorry, but you can't ask me to take my pants off. It doesn't seem appropriate. We don't have that kind of relationship. What kind of relationship? You know, the kind where intimate, I guess. Ah, I understand. That's what Koo says, but I have my doubts. This is the girl who listens to ambient goat noises to relax after all. I don't think she has a firm grasp on what is normal and what isn't. In fact, she actively seems to repel normalcy. Then, before you take off your pants, we must foster an intimate relationship. That will solve everything. Do you want to touch me first? Excuse me? How far is this going to go? No, I don't, and didn't say anything like that. No, I don't want to do anything like that. I don't know you well enough. Friend, I'm a little nervous. I might have to fucking cut stream here. What the fuck? Maybe not, but we could get to know one another better if only you would assist to... Well, I won't. It's way too early in the morning for this. Are you even aware of what you're saying? Yeah. You're fucking... I tell you right now, though, I want to click it, but I'm scared of what's going to happen on stream. Do I say fuck it and risk losing my whole channel? I did not realize I was saying anything wrong in particular. I only wish to help you. Is that wrong of me? I guess it's not, but I'd really rather not take my pants off in front of you. But if you do not do that, I cannot check to see where you are wounded. It's fine. I know where I'm wounded. Though, wounded is a bit of an overstatement. It's true, my knee's bleeding a bunch, but I don't think it's particular deep cut. You don't need to examine me. I just cut my knee. Koo frowns. Is it as I thought? You will not be able to walk like that. It is as I thought. You would not be able to walk like that. Will you not let me tend to it? I can wipe your cut and bandage it. That should reduce the risk of infection. That's kind of you, but my shift starts in like 5 minutes, and I'm not changed yet. I will only take 1-2 at the most, if you squirm. Won't you let me help you? Ah, jeez. I hadn't wanted to tell anybody about my bloody knee for fear of causing alarm, but I guess it's too late for that now. Koosh sharper than she looks, and she's cottoned onto the truth in about 5 seconds flat. Now she knows about my injury. It'd be pointless to try and hide it from her further. I guess I've got to swallow my pride. Alright, fine. I'll let you look after it, if you really truly want to. Very good. A rare smile captures Koo's lips. I knew you would see sense eventually, Naoya. Now, if you could take off your pants... But I'm not going to pull my pants off. Not in front of you. I see. How unfortunate. The spirit told me I would see something exciting today, too. Well, the spirit were wrong. I'm not about to show you any of my exciting parts. I'm a pure maiden at heart. I'll just roll my pants up. That should be enough, right? Yes, I suppose so. It's so a pity. It is a pity. Now, why does she look so sad? Does she want to see me in a state of undress that badly? Koo might not look it, but it seems like Jesus, let me start over. Koo might not look it, but it seems like she's something of a pervert. But it will do for now. Please, sit there and roll the leg of your pants up. I shall help you. I do as instructed while Koo takes a napkin and wets it at the sink. So I never know if I gotta click it. Yeah, she's just curious. Koo then kneels before me, the friendly hem of her maid uniform pulling around her. Given our position, I had a bird's eye view of her cleavage. Her uniform is rather low cut, and it reveals an awful lot of Koo's milky skin. It's quite an appealing sight. Now, hold still. I'm going to clean you up. Yes, ma'am. Koo presses the damp napkin to my bloody knee, and I swallow. This feels pretty good, actually. It stings a bit, but Koo takes great pain to be gentle. She doesn't push too hard, and she isn't too insistent. Her fingers brush against my skin, and I sigh. For some reason, my heart's starting to race. Well, why does this feel so intimate? Koo's compromising position, coupled with the deft motion of her hands, is having a curious effect on my body. Oh, fucking great. Huh? Ku pauses at her, wiping to examine me. Her head tipped to the one side. Are you alright, Naoya? I'm fine. Are you sure? I'm not hurting you, am I? Are you making some strange... You were making some strange noises. No, I was just thinking, you're pretty good at taking care of people. I, didn't expect it. Haha. Well, my mother's a nurse. She's a very compassionate person, and she taught me everything I know. I don't mind taking care of people. Wipe, wipe, wipe. But I would prefer if I could take care of yourself. If you could take care of yourself. Yeah, sorry about this. I'll try and be more careful in the future. Please do. I do not like seeing others suffer. It perturbs me. Really? How? Really? Now? That's a surprise. You tell such horrible fortunes all the time. I figured you were something of a sadist. No, I'm not. I don't take any pleasure in telling people bad news. If anything, it makes me feel guilty. I want to tell fortunes that bring smiles to people's faces. That is not always possible. When people ask me for their fortunes, I feel obligated to be honest. Lies and wicked and wrong, even white lies. There is no point sparing somebody's feelings for the present, for them to be disappointed later on. We must be aware of potential suffering, so we can better endure it. That is what I think, in any case. I'm on my way. I am trying to help. In my way, I'm trying to help. Wipe, wipe, wipe. But nobody seems to appreciate it. Etsuko always gets mad at me, and so did my classmates. Miyuki is the only person who understands me. Ku. My expression softens. I didn't understand Ku either when we first met, but I'm beginning to get a grip on her thought process. She isn't a bad person. If she was, she wouldn't be so concerned about my knee. No matter how grim her fortunes, she's just trying to aid others in her own strange, Ku-like way. How could I dislike her for that? I know we haven't known one another all that long, but I offer her a smile. I offer her a small smile. I could try to understand you too if you like. You would? Yeah, I'll give it a shot. From this day forward, Miyuki won't be your only friend. I wouldn't mind being your friend too. Yay! So, Naoya. Yes, what is it? I've now been working at the Seaside Cafe for over a month, and I've developed a healthy rapport with Ku and Miyuki. We don't have much of a chance to chatter at work, but come break time, we usually engage in idle conversations in the break room. We don't always have breaks at the same time, but it's fun when our schedules do line up. I've grown pretty fond of these girls. Chomp. Though I wish Ku would be a bit less brazen about stealing the best parts of my lunchbox for herself. She's not even trying to hide her thievery. I love her. She's chowing down on my ginger chicken with nary a car in the world. I'm curious about something. Oh? I wrap a protective arm around my lunchbox so as to deflect Ku's next swipe with her chopstick and look at Miyuki's asterisks. What about? I was just wondering. You graduated from high school early this year. Didn't you? Yeah, what about it? Then that would put you at the same age as Ku and me. We have graduated too. Thank goodness. Ku's aside piques my curiosity. I can't help but query her. Didn't you like school? Ku shakes her head. There were too many people. It jammed my spirit's receptors. Uh-huh. I'm not sure what exactly Ku means by that, but I don't really understand half the stuff that comes out of this girl's mouth. By this point, I've learned to roll with it. That might be a rude question, but I have been wondering if this for some time now. Are you not currently attending university? Are you? You can't be. Working so many shifts at this cafe, you wouldn't have a time to attend classes. Ah ha ha, you've got me there. I grinned sheepishly. It's not like I was trying to keep that a secret. This a secret, but it is a bit embarrassing having it spelled out like that. Ichigo's a university student. She's training to be a nurse, but I'm not. I took entrance exams, but I didn't pass them. I couldn't get into any of the universities I applied for. I still plan on going at some point, but I need to wait to retake my exams. I've got a lot of studying to do, too. I'm happy to hear that. Miyuki offers me a small smile. It seems you take your education seriously. As my school's former student council president, so she was a student council president in her past life. I knew it. She has that vibe. What with her long dark hair and her pouty mouth and her. Oh, Miyuki's still talking. I am pleased to hear of your dedications. Still, I cannot help but be somewhat perturbed. It seems strange you would fail all your exams. I do not know how much about your schooling, but you do not seem particularly airheaded like Ku. Did something happen while you were taking your exams? I guess you could say that. It's a bit complicated, but I fell in with a bad crowd of people when I was in my second year of high school. Is that so? It's quite a dark period of my life. It's not something I like to talk about now, but it's part of who I am. I wouldn't want to hide it from you, not if you're genuinely interested, so I'll come clean. For a while, I was a real delinquent. I bleached my hair blonde, I got my nose pierced, and I used to ride about on a motorcycle at night. I stopped going to school, I cut ties with all my old friends, I even got in trouble with the police. My grades were always average, nothing special, but something terrible. But nothing terrible. But they totally nosedived because of what? Because of that. It was probably inevitable. I didn't study at all. I couldn't see the point. I cleaned up my act a couple of months before the uni entrance exams rolled around, but by the time it was too late, I've already ruined my chances. I see. Miyuki frowns. So you were a delinquent? Somehow that does not surprise me. I knew it. Ku pipes up, chopsticks aloft, her voice indistinctive thanks to a mouthful of half-chewed ginger chicken. Hey, was she helping herself to the contents of my lunchbox while I was telling Miyuki my backstory? She's eaten almost all my chicken and my rolled eggs omelets. How shameless can a girl be? One girl be? You have a dangerous aura about you. The spirits warned me to keep my distance. I thought you might have been a member of the Yakuza. The Yakuza? I'm not stunned by this accusations. I forget to scold Ku about stealing all my ginger chicken. First, I need to correct this wildly incorrect assumption of hers. There's no way I'd ever join the Yakuza. I was just a petty thug. All I did was kick cans in the streets and Jimmy vending machines. It was illegal, yeah, but I never killed anybody. And I am very glad to hear that. If you had continued your wicked ways, then Ku reaches into her pocket and extracts a tarot card. Then she spins it about to her face, to me. It is quite predictable. Death? I grimace. No way, nuh-uh, no thank you. I push Ku's hand aside. Don't put that evil on me. I have no interest in becoming a murderer. Not now, perhaps, but if you had not changed, then maybe. That's irrelevant. I have changed. I'm a good, law-abiding citizen who wouldn't do anything shady. You believe me, don't you, Miyuki? I wonder. Miyuki ponders, one hand beneath her chin. Your past is quite the gritty one. If you were still a gang member, I wouldn't want nothing to do with you. Splitting skulls and smuggling drugs is bad enough. I never did any of those things. But skipping school? That is truly unforgivable. Miyuki slams the desk with her palm, her fingers splayed. I'm really quite upset you'd be so cavalier about your education, given its immense importance. But I suppose you suffered for your mistakes and you are trying to make amends. I cannot fault you for that. We all make mistakes. This does explain why I felt so adverse to you during our first meeting, however. I don't believe in judging people based on appearance, but there was something about your posture, manner of talking, which put me on edge. You give off quite a rough impression. I've tried to mend my ways, but I guess old habits die hard. I might have dyed my hair back to its natural color, but I guess I can't hide my past. I hope it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. It's fine. It is in the past, like you said. You've done nothing to make me think you might be a bad person. I am still very appreciative that you came to rescue me when I was being harassed by that customer. He was taller than you, but you scared him away with only a few words and a sharp glare. You must have learned how to intimidate people during your days of being a delinquent. Naomi's power can be used for good and evil. You think I have powers? Definitely. Your aura is dark and threatening, but you don't threaten people weaker than yourself. You're just like Robin Hood, the guy from English folklore. Ku nods. I know a lot about folklore, from all sorts of countries. I do a lot of reading. If only you would read something useful for a change, like a math textbook. Miyuki sighs and shakes her head. Ku and I are in a similar position to you. Neither of us are enrolled at a university either, though our circumstances differ from yours. I was on track to get into a very rep- reputable university in Tokyo. I studied hard in the stake of my education. But then, on the week of the entrance exam rolled out, I got sick. I had such a bad cold I couldn't sit in any of the exams I had crammed so meticulously. By the time I recovered, it was too late. I had missed my window of opportunity. I had to defer my application to the following year, and I was left behind. Miyuki sighs. It is quite unfortunate. I've always placed a hefty empathy or emphasis on the importance of schooling. It's a shame my plans were ruined because of a silly cold. I was prepared to sit my exam despite my fever, but my parents wouldn't let me. They marched me back into my bed and made me sleep. Can you believe that? It's so irritating. There, there. Ku, who must have heard Miyuki's grievance countless times, pat her friend on the back. It isn't your fault. You were simply born unlucky. There is nothing to blame save the position of Mars and Venus in the sky on the day of your birth. Your circumstances were not dissimilar to that of Anastasia's. You were born on the same day, but she was shot to death. You only missed your exams. In that sense, you are quite fortunate. Thanks, I think. Missing my exam is a bit better than being shot, I suppose. It is quite a lot better. I am happy for you. Ku offers Miyuki a peace sign. Now let's do our best to live a fulfilling life. I'm rooting for you. Yay! Darn. I whistled. I'm sorry to hear about that. Miyuki, it sounds like you must have been it must have been a big blow. Miyuki's a very serious person, and like all serious people, she's incredibly hard on herself. She seems to regard her sickness as a personal failing rather than a piece of misfortune beyond her control. Misfortune. I bet she's been beating herself up over this for a while. I can't help but sympathize. I do wonder about Ku, though. Don't your parents want you to go to the university? They do, and I will in time. That is what the fate has decreed. I shall one day ascend to the mythical realm of university. No, I don't think university is that magical. I wouldn't know since I've never been there, but from what Ichigo told me, it sounds like a glorified, significantly more stressful reskin of high school. But I decide to abstain for the present. I would not like to sit my exams without Mayuki. We have been friends since we were children. I would hate to leave her behind. So, you threw your exam on purpose to keep Miyuki's company? Ku nods. That's a good friend. That is what friends do. We should stick together. While I appreciate your concern, I think it was unnecessary. You shouldn't hold yourself back for my sake. If I broke my leg, you wouldn't have to break your own. It's fine. I didn't want to sit my exams anyway, and wouldn't have passed them if I had. I hate studying. That doesn't really make it better, you know. Miyuki's cutely, her arms folded. I know you have a short attention span, Ku, but I do wish you'd pay a bit more attention in class. One of these days, it'll come back to bite you. I can worry about that later, when I have to take my entrance exams again. Until then, I don't want to think about studying. I want to work here with you. And I want to work here with you, too. This job has been more fun than I thought it would be, and I am enjoying myself, but studying is also important. All three of us are supposed to resit our exams at the end of the year. We need to make sure we're prepared. That being the case, Miyuki looks between Ku and me, her eyes narrowed. Why don't we all study together? What? Ku's response is deader than a doornail. Why would I want to do that? I would rather hold a seance than study. I know that, but you need to start taking your future more seriously. Studying should be less boring if we do it together. And if I can't fire you up, Naoya might be able to. You get along with him, don't you? I suppose. Naoya's aura is different to mine, but the spirits say we are compatible. I would not mind spending more time together outside of work. And I want to be sure that all three of us get into higher education. As an ex-student council president, nothing makes me happier than putting things into order. Miyuki grins triumphantly. It's settled then. Let's all work hard together to achieve our dreams. If anybody can whip you into shape, I'm sure I can. Miyuki sounds so enthusiastic. I'm afraid she might mean that in a literal sense. I have to double check just to make sure I'm not getting myself in inadvertently involved in anything seedy. You aren't really going to whip us, are you? I might, if you complain too much. It wouldn't be for your benefit, though. I'm doing this because I wanted you to succeed, really. You should be thanking me for taking an interest in your academic affairs. Aren't you glad about this turn of events? I don't know about that. I sink down in my chair, suddenly exhausted. This is all moving so fast. I've barely had a chance to get acclimatized to my job and my coworkers, and now Miyuki's determined to mold me into a brand new me. I've never been keen on studying myself, but one look at Miyuki tells me my own feelings are irrelevant. I've never seen her this fired up before. It's kind of cute, I guess, but it's disconcerting too. I hope she won't be too tough on me. I really don't want to be whipped. Later that evening, Ichigo. Today's dinner was super delicious. I'm stuffed. Ichigo sighs and leans back in her chair, a cheery smile, as per usual, upon her face. Why did you think of... What did you think of my Hamburg steak, Naoya? I hope you liked it. Of course I did. It was great. Like always, you're an incredible cook. Aw, shucks. You're so nice to me, Naoya. Since when did you become so good at sweet-talking ladies? I must have picked it up from those cheesy romance dramas you like watching. The guys in those always know the right things to say. They have cute girls falling all over them. And speaking of cute girls, hey Ichigo, there's something I need to ask you. What? Ichigo sits up a little straighter, her green eyes wide. You aren't going to propose, are you? What if I am? What if I was? Would you like that? Uh-huh. Oh goodness. Ichigo holds her hands together at her front. Her face dyed pink. This is all so sudden. I don't know what to say. I've dreamed about this moment for a long time, but I am. Now you're finally said it. I don't know what to say. Ichigo's voice trails off. Her mouth falls open, but no sound comes out. She looks utterly floored. Did my comeback really perturb her that much? I was only teasing. But maybe Ichigo was more serious in her query than I first thought. Now I feel kind of guilty for playing around with her feelings. I should probably try and change the subject before things get too awkward. Don't get your hopes up. We're too young to get married. And besides, I was only teasing. Oh, right, of course. Ichigo's shoulders slump. I'm not sure whether it's with relief or disappointment. She sighs, then forces a smile. I should have known. I was just teasing too. Sure she was. I have some doubts, but I won't go into them. That really would be cruel. So, can I tell you my news now? Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. Go right ahead. The stage is all yours, mister. Right. Well, I cleared my throat. I was talking to Ku and Miyuki earlier today when we were on our break. They told me that they were in a similar position to me, and they were both unable to get into university. They've been studying so they can retake their entrance exams in the winter. Is that so? Ichigo blinks. Does that mean I'm the only one out of the four of us who's actually going to university? I didn't think of it, but I guess it does. Wow, that's a funny feeling. Now I'm starting to feel all responsible. Maybe you should all start calling me Big Sister. If that would make you happy, Big Sis. I don't think it's very mature or responsible for a big sister to cruelly kick her younger brother like you did, though. Ichigo giggles awkwardly. On second thought, maybe we should just drop the big sis thing. It feels kind of awkward. I concur. This is funny, though. I'm not surprised about Ku. She looks sort of spacey. But Miyuki's so prime and proper. She looks like the sort of girl who'd cram super seriously for weeks on end. How come she didn't get into university? Didn't she pass her exams? She never got a chance to take them. She came down with a cold during exam season. It was confined to her bed for a whole week. When she finally got better, it was too late. I see. That's a bummer. It must have hit her pretty hard. So, are the three of you going to study together? That's what the ideal. Miyuki suggested we could do it in the library, but if it's a bit far away, I thought it'd be easier if we study here instead. You wouldn't be opposed to that, would you? Of course not. I'd love to see your friends again. It makes me, super happy. When are they supposed to come over? Tomorrow at midday. I know it's a bit sudden, but Miyuki was very insistent. Our university entrance exams are important. We can't afford to waste a single day, she said. Or words to that effect. That sure does sound like Miyuki. Ichigo titters. Alrighty then, I'll have to make some preparations for their visit. I'll clean the living room. It's been a while since I did that. And maybe I can wake up early tomorrow to bake cookies. If you're studying, you've got to have something sweet to eat. That would be a kind gesture, but it's not necessary. You don't have to push yourself. But I want to push myself. Ichigo pouts. Don't forget, Naoya, any friend of yours is a friend of mine. I'm going to make Ku and Miyuki feel right at home. Tomorrow's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Or my name isn't Suzuki Ichigo. You can bet on that. And that is where we are going to call it for the night. I just want to say I appreciate everybody for coming back for the second stream. The first one didn't go as planned, but hey, you brush it off and you keep going forward. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I appreciate every single one of you. But unfortunately, it's that part of the stream where I have to bid you adieu. So goodbye and good night.